Hello everyone, I'm Brock, also known as Brock the Llama, and welcome to my first top 5 video of the channel. Sorry that I've been away for a couple of weeks, but it's because I've been very busy with my life lately, but I finally made some time, to make some more videos, and I promise you that I will make more videos and more consistently. So in this video I will talk about video games that are known to be bad but actually come from good franchises. These games are seen as the black sheep of their franchises and are considered by both fans and critics to be bad despite the reputation of their respective franchises. So let's not waste any more time and let's get started with the list. At number 5, we have Grand Theft Auto Advance. This game is seen by most fans as being very underwhelming and disappointing as compared to other games in the franchise. From the bad and ugly graphics to the boring and generic gameplay presented by a lackluster story. Even though this game came out only for the Game Boy Advance, there is no reason for it to be bad. Even other portable entries in the franchise are so much better in every aspect as compared to this game. The only redeeming quality for this game is that at least it's open world and is inspired by the PS1 era of the Grand Theft Autos. Some people may be mad at me for putting this game on the list, but we have to accept the fact that Mass Effect Andromeda was a very disappointing and a lower quality game as compared to previous games in the franchise. First of all, the game at its initial release suffered from a numerous amount of bugs, glitches, and let's not forget about those awful facial animations. Ugh. Even though the game got slightly better over time, it's still not as good as other games in the same franchise. The protagonist is unlikable, as well as the rest of the characters in the campaign. Oh, and let's not forget, the main campaign was such a letdown for fans everywhere. The only mildly redeeming quality that can be attached to this game is that the third-person combat, was kind of fun, but it got old rather quickly due to the repetitive nature of the gameplay itself. At number 2, we have a game that killed its entire franchise due to how bad it was. This game is Medal of Honor Warfighter. The Medal of Honor franchise was for a long time a very beloved and well-respected property coming from EA. But unfortunately, as time went by and Call of Duty gained its tremendous popularity, the Medal of Honor franchise could not compete at the end. One big criticism from fans and critics is that the game tried to be too much like Battlefield and Call of Duty instead of being its own original self. This, as a result, made the game look like a copycat, and a bad one at that. The game was very generic and the modern setting did not help it either. So we probably won't hear too much about, or not at all, about this franchise in the upcoming future due to this game's failure. When it comes to this second entry in the list, we can all agree that this game does not feel at all like the game is supposed to be, meaning that it has lost its identity almost entirely except for the title. This game is BanjoKazooie Nuts and Balls, released as an Xbox 360 exclusive back in the day, since Rare belongs to Microsoft now of course. This game was like a stab in the back for fans of the franchise. The game did not feel like a proper entry in the BanjoKazooie saga, and instead felt like an entirely different game. Instead of being a fun platformer and a collectathon with decent story and charming characters, the game was instead turned into a racing game where you modify and build your own cars. On paper, this sounds like a decent idea for a different game or maybe a different IP, but instead, this was applied to a very beloved franchise. This game was one of the games where Rare were seen as losing their essence and becoming just another slave for a company or a big corporation. And finally, at number 1, we have a game that is so bad that a lot of gamers skipped on the game entirely, and everyone that has played it or at least seen it will agree that it is tremendously awful and should not have been a part of the franchise. This game is of course Bomberman AXE. Everyone that has heard of this game wants to forget that it ever existed, and I bet that even the developers think the same way. Bomberman games have always been seen as fun cute and over-the-top games that can be enjoyed by everyone, and this game did a 180 on that. I mean, who came up with the idea to turn a cute, fun, and colorful game into a gritty, colorless, and boring piece of trash? This game is the complete opposite of the other games in the franchise. But I bet some people wonder, well, at least is it any good? Nope, it isn't. Like I said before, it's boring, looks like crap, controls like crap, and so please try to stay away from it as far as you can. Thankfully, the franchise returned back to its normal self with its latest entry, Super Bomberman R, which is a decent game, and I would recommend it a million times over, Act Zero. Well, this has been my list of the worst games from known good franchises that have left a bad taste in everyone that played them. Please comment below which are the games you think are bad that belong to a good franchise, and don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe so I can make more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and have an awesome day.